大家好。我的中文不太好。So I'll speak in English, if you don't mind, so you can all understand me. There is translation also. So first of all, I'm delighted to be here, delighted to celebrate our 20th birthday in Greater China. Thank you, Samsung. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, our customers. Thank you, our partners, for being here today. And so we are thinking now about the 20 years ahead. Think 2045. And what is the future of high-tech product development? What is the future of your business for the 20 years ahead? That is what we're going to talk about today. So what better place to talk about the future of tomorrow's products, of tomorrow's business, than here in Taiwan, the heartland of electronics, of semiconductors, and of the future. And Samson, a moment ago, well, he showed you our ambition to be the 3D universe company. And to be the 3D universe company, well, first of all, we are the virtual twin experience company. Quite simply, we help you design, build, and operate virtual twins of everything, everywhere, in all sectors. And if I just take a step back and explain a little bit, as you know, Dassault Systems, well, we cover three sectors: the manufacturing sector, the infrastructure and cities sector, and the healthcare and life sciences sectors. And some of you might be thinking, well, why so broad a range? Well, the reality is that tomorrow's products need to pull from the knowledge of know-how of all of these sectors. We need to learn from the consumer space, and we are present in the consumer space here. For example, you can see our Home by Me services. We are able to effectively build and design apartments generatively, and we learn from that. We are present in the life sciences space. Here you can see a virtual twin of a human heart. We have the ambition to build the virtual twin of the human body, organ by organ, and we learn from that. And finally, we are able to model and simulate the urban sphere and urban spaces. And so once again, all of these come together. For those of you developing medtech and wearable devices, these exist. These are, yes, electronic devices, but they need to learn and build from the knowledge of the human body. And they need to operate within the urban sphere because we are always in movement within a city. And I could go on and on and on for those of you developing robotics, for those of you in automotive, in airplanes, etc. And so our view is really to be able to bring all this together. So I'm not going to talk about this wide space today. I want to talk to you about something very specific, which is a subset of what you're seeing here. And that subset, you could call it intelligent products, for want of a better name. And these are products that bind in a chip or electronics, and effectively think about all the products here that are and will be software-defined, they will be semiconductor, electronic-defined, and therefore they will be AI-defined, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. We have a lot of experience in this domain here. If I just flick back to the previous slide here. We're a trusted partner for 350,000 customers, and the count goes up. If I just take two examples, 90% of electric vehicles are built using our solutions. There's a new field, that of humanoid robotics, where 80% of the players are using our solutions, and the list goes on and on and on. So, what does that mean, and what exactly are these 3D universes that we are talking about? The 3D universes we're talking about, I take here one example, which is of an electric vehicle, but I could equally have taken an example from the previous slide, any of the other products, effectively. And the 3D universes are about your IP. Your IP is where we want to help you, because your IP, it's your knowledge, it's your know-how, it is what is most precious for your company. If you had to safeguard anything. It is your IP, your knowledge, and your know-how, and is how you leverage it. And the first way you leverage it is through virtual twins, because effectively you are building products, and you want to build a virtual twin of that product. But that is not enough, because a product is not just an emanation. It doesn't just appear. It is the result of an organization, your organization. It is your ability and your processes and your workforce and your leadership, that organization that creates the product. And we are and have the ambition to build a virtual twin of organizations to help you build these products. And that's what I'll show in a moment, where AI comes in, to be able to speed you up on the design of a product and be able to augment your organization through AI. And finally, all this would exist only through business models. You are only profitable as a company if your business model delivers, and if it is modeled and fine-tuned correctly, and we will cover this also. So, the key message here is 3D Universe is about virtual twins of the end product that you're building, of the organization that gives birth to the end product, and the business model that makes it sustainable and profitable. Everything clear? So I'll be here for the rest of the day, along with my team, Eric Blivet here. Don't hesitate, we'll be very happy to follow up. And once again, the general collaboration we have with Mark Chang and his team is we work very closely from headquarters to be able to make sure that our very strong Taiwanese team has the latest of product innovation and of the thinking and of all the demonstration capabilities and all the IP we have to succeed. AI. Well, AI is difficult in itself. It's the most challenging technology out there at the moment for consumers. And industrial AI, wow, that is even tougher to build, because you need to make it right. You can't just push out a chatbot to your organization and hope that it's going to build the best product out there. We need to be able to ensure that it safeguards your IP, that it effectively allows you to be more productive, that it is secure, that it is trustable, that it is traceable, and the list goes on and on and on. So industrial-grade AI is an incredible challenge, and that's the one we've been working on very, very diligently with that industrial grade in mind. We've been building partnerships, I'll come to that in a moment, but we've also been thinking of how do we ensure we can augment your engineering capability. How can we make your engineers 10 times, 100 times, an order of magnitude times more efficient, more productive? And that for us is the first step, not replacing engineers, but augmenting them. That is the, let's say, immediate focus that we have. And for that, we have been developing, and I'll show you in a moment, virtual companions. So really augmenting your engineers, getting to that extra level of productivity. Now, for that, we need to understand, and you need to understand clearly your processes and your workflows, and the IP that you capture along the way, which is why the 3D Experience platform, with its focus on roles, on processes and solutions, has been built from the start with the idea that we capture these workflows, that you build your workflows so they can be better built by AI. So with the 3D Experience platform, you have the foundations for agentic AI because of this focus on roles and on processes. Concretely speaking, we've taken at heart to really start focusing on making and ensuring our customers have their data safe, sovereign, trusted, and fully under their control, which is why we have been investing heavily in our outscale sovereign platform with different levels of abilities, dedicated cloud, sovereign cloud, international cloud, and this for us is a foundation on which to build industrial AI. And then building AI models, we have partnered closely, in particular with Mistral AI, but we're also able to work with all the models out there and integrate them within our workflows within the platform. Now, I know, back in 2017, the transformer was invented, and then follow that, the GPTs, and where we are today. But the journey through generative design started long before that, and we've been part of that process for 10, 15 years through different acquisitions, including our acquisition in 2019 of Proxem, which was using the transformer-based technology. Generative design can bring incredible value. Generative design, in this example here, we're able to capture the generative mesh from a simple picture. That's on this side. And on that side, then, we're able to take it further and really build in the actual knowledge and the know-how and the semantics that capture and allow you to build a product which really meets the industrial-grade needs of actually putting that product, that component, into a device, into a system. So, building on the generative design capabilities and taking them to the point where you have exactly a full design tree, where you capture fully the knowledge and the know-how that you need to make a product, to make an accessory, work in an industrial setting, that effectively is a journey that we've been on for the past 15 years. Now, we're taking it further. We're taking it further effectively because we are now integrating into this LLMs. So if I look at this example here, we have been taking the safety requirements for industrial robots, which we're able to ingest into a generative AI LLM-based system. And from this, we have the virtual companion, which is effectively your chatbot, which lives side by side with the generative experience on the left-hand side, on your left-hand side, from which we are able to extract the requirements and map them into the system definition, in this case, of a humanoid robot. So what we're able to do here is augment an engineer, which would have taken hours of work, into a process which is 10 times faster, and to be able to extract requirements generatively, and to be accompanied and guided by that by a virtual companion. In this case, it's a compliance virtual engineer, which you're able to interact with for this process. These are the kinds of use cases that we're working on, and as you can see, they bring together many different components. It's not just an LLM, it is also the generative design capabilities, it's the capability of extracting information, knowledge, and know-how, and putting them, in this case, into a system design. Continuing down this road, we have in this particular case here, so this is a model of a hand, and we are working to be able to generatively design a cover which can cover the hand while maintaining the degrees of freedom expected by the hand, and with a cover which is able, the hand here should be able to carry up to 200 kilos. We want to make sure that the cover has the right industrial design to be able to do that, that it is easily manufacturable and assemblable. And finally, the cherry on the cake is we design it with some learning also from nature. You can see some leaf-like designs here to make it the most, let's say, optimized for its function. Same thing here. You have the virtual companion here, so it's a bit difficult to read here, but the virtual companions allows you to interact all along the way with your design. In this case here, we are working to be able to extract the product structure from the system design. And then what you'll see at a later stage is to be able to generate the assembly of this hand here using our generative experiences. So what we're putting in place effectively is a number of things. Generative design is one thing we've been working on. The other one is the virtual companions, which really are there to help you and to augment engineers along the way. And over the next months, and in fact as a general, let's say, journey across the next years or so, we are focusing extremely deeply to be able to bring these virtual companions to life and really bring that extra level of productivity. So, if I move back one slide. To conclude, 3D universes is a vision. It's the vision that virtual and real will merge. That the real world is not a shadow, a virtual world is not a shadow just of the real world, but that the virtual world is as rich, in fact, can give you even more value than the real world because it merges with the virtual world, which is why here you see this UNIV+RSES V plus R here. It's really the idea that they will converge and augment each other. What you can see on this side is the real world, which is data-based, and you want to make sure that that data feeds in to the model-based virtual world, and you want to make sure that the virtual world itself feeds into the real world. In the end, both are showing the same reality. Both are showing the same reality, and they are converging, and they are one. That is our vision. That is the V plus R of the universes. Now, if they converge as one, the next step is quite simple, to step into them, to immerse yourself into this new V plus R convergence, which is why we're so happy and proud, in fact, to have launched and developed a groundbreaking partnership with Apple, which we announced 6 months ago, which you can access through the 3D Live app on the Apple Vision Pro. And, well, the vision here is quite simple. Apple Vision Pro is the most advanced headset. I don't know if any of you have tried it. It's simply astounding. And by bringing our virtual twins within that, you can actually manipulate them as if they were there in front of you. The distance between virtual and real becomes non-existent. You can visualize, you can modify your simulation, you can view your simulations. With surrogate models, you'll be able to iterate on them in conversational mode. So you'll be able to be around the table, iterating in conversational mode around the virtual twins, which will be there, lifelike. That's the vision. That is the vision. So it all comes together in the end. It all comes together. Remember, virtual twin of the product is only one part. It's the virtual twin of your organization which gives birth to the product. And your organization can only be successful if the business model holds, if your IP is safeguarded, if you're able to leverage on the knowledge and know-how of all your employees, of everything you've built over the past decades. It needs to come together in a virtual model. That's the 3D universes. That's why we're excited about the future ahead. That's why we're investing massively in 3D universes, in AI. That's why we're working so closely with the Taiwanese team and Mark here. Thanks again for your support. And that's why I'm here today. So thanks again.
OK， 好，接下来我用很简短的把刚才 Stéphane 的演讲做一个中文的一个总结哈。那刚才他谈到就是透过达梭系统的 3D Universe 呢，那这第一步就是集结你们公司自己的这些资料，然后来精进你的这些智慧财产，然后利用这些资料呢，透过人工智慧来改善你的产品的构思，还有甚至于你新的一个商业模式。那达梭系统呢，提供了一个工业级的人工智慧，它是提供了一个自主的、基于科学的、以人为本、知识驱动的。那也就是说，虽然事实上的这些一般通用的这些人工智慧它可能是在如果你要使用这些工具的话，你怕你的资料会外流。那所以呢，达梭呢可以是在一个自主的云之内呢，把你的资料集结，然后再让达梭的这些AI 的技术呢，让你建立所谓的一个虚拟的伙伴或虚拟的助手，来帮你优化你的流程、你的方法、你的资源来不断的改进你的一个产品。那最后呢，我们的 3D Universe 是来帮你在高科技行业里面呢，帮你开发新产品。塑造你的产品，加上你的组织，甚至你的商业模型，然后透过这个虚拟，前面讲过很多虚拟的技术跟虚拟分身，来提高你的产品的新价值。OK， 谢谢。